Thank you. Thanks for the clap. I'll see you down at the clinic later.
That's it. You can say all ones are the best.
Well, folks, there are some men in the world that need no introduction, but unfortunately I'm not one of them. So it's just as well we've been together for the last couple of days, so we've all got to know each other, and I must admit it's been a wonderful experience knowing you all. It's very difficult bringing a disparate bunch of people together and hoping everybody gets on, but I think Laura and Simon have done it really successfully, and I think they should be applauded for that. So okay, now of course, traditionally the father of the bride is always the first person up on the speeches, but really I'm just the warm-up man for Tony and then of course Simon, so forgive me please, but I'll do my best to sort of set the scene. Okay. Now first of all, I just want to thank everybody for making the long journey to Santorini. I think you'll all agree it's been a great experience arriving here, and it's a beautiful island. But like most Greek islands, if you don't like salad chips or feta cheese, well, you'll have to resort to the ouzo. Now, Laura yesterday gave me instructions on what to say with a clear message: whatever you do, Dad, please don't embarrass me. Which meant I sat up all last night rewriting my speech. Okay, and she said, don't forget to keep it short, remembering the ABC and the XYZ of public speaking. ABC, always be clear. XYZ, examine your zip. I said, don't worry, a dead bird rarely falls out of the nest. Okay. Now, I did promise that I'd do my best not to offend anybody. So actually, what I did was I played it safe and wrote a speech that offends absolutely everybody. So this, of course, is the second time I've given away one of my daughters, and on both occasions it's been a magical experience. Tinged, I must say, with a little bit of sadness, because it's magical, but it's like being a king escorting your princess onto the next stage of her life. And a bit of sadness because she'd no longer be my princess, really. And handing her over to Simon to love and protect her from here on. So when I brought her down this afternoon, I said to him, I gave him to her, and I said, whatever you do, look after her. And I know he will. Now, Laura was born on a hot, sunny Tuesday afternoon in August, and it was pretty much a sign, I think, that how much of a ray of sunshine she would bring into our lives. Often, when we were walking down the street with her in the buggy, perfect strangers would stop us in the street and compliment us on how beautiful she was and what a lovely smile and loving nature she had. And that was from a tiny baby, believe it or not, and I'm sure you agree with me, that continues now. So I stand before you, the dad of a very special daughter, who, like her sister Hayley, has made me very proud dad. And it's wonderful to see her looking so wonderful this evening. I'm sure you agree. Yeah. Okay. Right, let's get on with the good stuff. Now, I almost missed Laura's birth because I was in a meeting with a bank manager, believe it or not. And having been told that, by the hospital that don't worry, nothing's going to happen for a few hours. She wasn't having any of that and decided that she wasn't going to let me finish my meeting and made me get there right now. And actually, on the way back to the hospital, I broke just about every traffic law imaginable and some that hadn't been invented. And it really kind of set the scene for Laura's future relationship with the road. Now, if you've ever been a passenger in her car, you'll know that she's got a somewhat defensive driving style. Some might say aggressive.
No.
Well, I must accept some responsibility for that, because when she was 14 I introduced her to stock car racing. And after a few knocks and scrapes she finally decided she wasn't taking it anymore, and she mastered what was called the pit manoeuvre, which means that you get the back corner of another car and you turn them left straight into the Armco and get them out of your way. That was Laura.
We've seen the Fiesta.
That's right. Now, I'm told apparently if you look through the passenger side window of the car you can actually see Simon's teeth marks in the dashboard. Anyway, moving on, Laura grew up very quickly, and it doesn't seem that long ago that she was coming down the slide at Paulton's Park with no knickers on.
Really?
And eating flowers. Well, I'm pleased to say she no longer eats flowers.
Well, that's true.
That's true. Now, from the age of 10, Laura and I spent most weekends together, and we travelled as much as we could. And it was during these trips, I think, that Laura started to formulate the idea of having a career in the travel industry, which inevitably led to her current job, of course. Now, it was a very proud and emotional time for me to see her graduate and get her wings there back in 2006, and I can't tell you how proud I was to see her realise her dream job. Right. Let's turn to Laura's previous boyfriends.
Hey.
Okay.
It's going to be a long one.
Kept it brief.
Flight's on Tuesday.
Now, most of them look like Harry Potter on acid. Okay. And they were all sort of geeks of one description and another. However, nevertheless, I always knew she deserved to find a good husband, and I want to say well done to Simon for marrying her before she had a chance to find one. Now, there aren't men that can proudly boast they've married a virgin. Remember. Now, speaking of Simon, there's one quality that he has in abundance, and that's loyalty, which, let's face it, has been severely tested during 35 years of broken dreams and betrayed trust as a Brighton and Hove Albion fan. So Laura, you can be confident that however badly you behave for the next 35 years, he'll stand by you. Okay. Now, as parents, you often think, your thoughts turn to what sort of person will your daughter eventually grow up to marry. Well, after kissing all the customary frogs, I'm delighted to announce that Laura's finally found her prince. What I didn't prepare myself for is that you might be called Weasel. However, I needn't worried about the name, because compared to what he had on his Twitter page, I had much bigger things to worry about. Yeah. Until then, I thought the cock in Coco Van was actually chicken. Never mind. Now, trusting the protection of your daughter to another man is a big river for any dad to cross. I'm pleased to report that, having witnessed mild-mannered fireman Simon make the transition to Simon the Venom Wenham, a charity boxing match back in 2012, I no longer have any concerns on that front. Now, apparently the policeman he got in the ring with is still looking for his porcelain crown. Well, I've reached that point in my father and the bride speech where I'm duty bound to offer the inevitable paternal advice. Now, for both of you, the world and the future is yours, and you can only determine the rules and build on your own hopes and dreams. We wish you all the best with that. You'll face many challenges in life, but the strong love and bond you have will get you through any storm, how powerful it might be. Someone once said, marriage is falling in love with the same person many times. How true that is. However, Groucho Marx said, marriage is a great institution, but who wants to live in an institution? And for Simon, I'm going to pass on the piece of advice that was given to me many years ago. Getting married is like being arrested, except you won't have the right to remain silent, and anything you do say will be taken down and used against you. So finally, I'd like to officially welcome Simon and Harvey to our family, and ask you all to raise your glasses and toast the new Mr. and Mrs. Wenham. Okay, now before I hand you over to Tony, after the speeches, whatever you do, let's get shit-faced.
We're good at that.
And there are some cigars here and a cigar clipper. You're welcome to help yourself. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.